In French football, we have this.
Enfants de la
patrie,
le jour de gloire est arrivé.
But also this.
Yes, I was afraid.
I was petrified.
Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But I spent so many times.
Singing how you did me wrong, I grew strong.
And I knew how to get along, and so you're back.
La 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 la.
And today on Encore, we're going to speak to the Queen of Disco herself.
Hi, I'm Gloria Gaynor, and you're watching France 24.
Gloria Gaynor, hello.
Hello.
Has anyone ever started an interview with you not talking about I Will Survive?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Tell us about another song that you really love singing.
Well, I think one of my favorite songs, I know one of my favorite songs to sing, is another song called I Will Survive. It was originally called I Will Survive. I recorded it, and when I did, I changed the name of it to He Gave Me Life, so that people wouldn't think it was the same song. But it's a Christian song. And it really tells how you can survive with the love and the grace and the power of God in your life. And so that is really my favorite song to sing.
Could you sing a little bit for us?
Looking ahead is just a little bit easier when you look at where you've been. I can't believe that we can move mountains, 'cause he's carried me through every valley I knew. If it wasn't for Christ, I don't know where I'd be. I just know that for me, I can rest in the promise of his love. I will survive. He gave me life. I stand beside the crucified one. I can go on. I will be strong, for my strength to live is not my own. I will survive.
Here in France, though, the I Will Survive that everyone at home knows has a very different meaning that outside France people probably don't know. It's become the unofficial football anthem for the national team ever since France won the World Cup back in 1998.
Yes.
Were you surprised by that?
I was very surprised by that. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that they would sing it because everybody sings it, but I certainly was surprised that they considered it the song that spurred them on to victory in the World Cup. And it was quite an honor for me. And when they said that they were making me the godmother of the team, I was like ecstatic. It was wonderful.
You came to meet the team. What was that
Yes,
like?
I came to meet the team. It was great. It was great. They were really sweet guys and very pleasant and very pleased to meet me. And I was very pleased to meet them. We took pictures together. We kind of spent the afternoon together. And it was lots of fun and quite an honor.
Is it very different then, performing in front of French audiences?
Yes, they kind of take over the song. I stand there thinking, why am I singing? Because they really get into it and they really, really love it, and it's very exciting.
I never get sick of listening to it. Do you ever get sick of singing it?
Never, never. Because I'm an artist who sings for my audience. I want to sing what they want to hear, and they always want to hear that song, and they always want to sing along with it, and I always get the impression that I'm giving them something to last beyond the duration of the concert.
What's surprising, though, it was actually on the B-side originally, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The record company president had chosen another song for me to record, and I asked the producers what would be the B-side, and they said that they had made a deal with the record company that they would record the song that the president had chosen if they could write the B-side. But when they showed me the lyrics and I read them, I thought, what are you, nuts? This is a great song. This should be the A-side because it is a hit song.
What was the A-side?
The A-side was called Substitute. Isn't that ironic?
It is. Very ironic.
Yes.
And so many people have sung the song and done different versions of it ever since. Have you got a favourite?
Yes, it's one by a young lady named Shantae Savage.
'Cause I got all my life to live, and I got all my love to give, and I'll survive.
And she really is the only one who's made it completely different. She made it a ballad, and it's very soulful. Yeah.
You also recently wrote a book called We Will Survive.
Yes.
It's a collection of stories from people around the world who have used that song as an inspiration to get through difficult times.
Exactly.
There are even like survivors of Auschwitz and people who are terminally ill. Lots of different stories.
Yes.
Is there one in particular that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I think the one that touches my heart most is a young lady, a woman who had a son. And I think he must have been about 16, 17 years old, but he was mentally challenged. And he had inappropriately touched this little girl. And they prosecuted him for it. And he was so young in his mind that when they sentenced him, he looked at his mother and said, "Can we go home now?" Had no idea that he was going to jail. And that was like heart-wrenching for me.
And your song helped her get through that?
Helps her get through that, yes.
The mantra "I will survive" has also become your mantra. In that same book, you write about some difficult experiences you've been through.
Yes.
Sexual abuse when you were younger. You were actually paralysed from the waist down when you first read the lyrics for "I Will Survive," and in a back brace when you recorded it.
Yes.
You also since then left your husband of 24 years, who was your manager.
Yes.
How has this song and this mantra helped you?
Well, it has encouraged me as well. Not only has the song encouraged me, but the fact that the song has encouraged so many other people through different things has encouraged me as well. And so, yeah, I remember right after my divorce that I did a show and I sang a marathon version of that song and no one cared. They were singing it right along with me because it was encouraging me and uplifting me and saying, yes, this is fine. I can do this. I can go through this. I can handle my life on my own, and it was very, very empowering.
For me, personally, it's always been a song about female empowerment and getting up when you've been knocked down.
Yes.
And your hit recording, I Am What I Am, that has very strong lyrics for us women too. I am good, strong, I am somebody, useful, worthy, I am as good as you.
Yes.
I am useful. I am true. I am somebody. I am as good as you.
These lyrics in this time that we're living in now with the Me Too movement, the Time's Up movement, they seem very appropriate.
Yes.
You've been in the music business for a long time, for 40 years. What's your experience been like?
Well, you know, it's been a man's world. It's been a man's world, and I think that one of the things that has made the song so popular among women is that it gives voice to women in a man's world. And so that's been my experience. Has you know, given us the courage, the strength, and the power to speak out about, you know, inequities that have happened in our lives.
You've channeled your fame to support lots of different causes, especially when it comes to children, but many others as well.
Yes.
What do you think is the biggest problem facing our world today?
I would call it, and I'm just now framing this, I would call it the disenchantment with love. We're disenchanted with love because we have experienced so much what we believe to be unrequited love. So we're reluctant to give it to anybody because it is the one thing that I think cripples us emotionally, is when our love is unrequited. But true love doesn't require reciprocation. And so we need to learn to love truly, to love unconditionally, to love without expecting anything in return.
You haven't given up on love, Gloria Gaynor?
I have not given up on love.
Are you in love at the moment?
No. I'm in love with Christ right now. And I suspect I always will be. But I think that love enables me to love everybody.
You also love music, of course.
Oh, yes.
And you're bringing out your 16th or 17th, I think, album.
Yes.
Tell us about it. It's called Testimony.
Well, I called it Testimony because it is my testimony of the love, the knowledge, the grace, the empowerment of God in one's life.
And at the same time, a documentary is being made
Yes.
about your life. What's that
Yes.
like, going back and looking at everything that you've lived?
It's cathartic. It really is, just as when I wrote the book. It really helps you to move forward and see how you've built on how you've gained strength from the difficulties in your life. As they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
And you're about to go and film your childhood places
Yes.
and your school. Tell us about how you're feeling about that.
I'm feeling good. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to be able to look back and because I have lots of fun memories of my childhood and from school and concerts that I did in school. Like, of course, that was the first place that I sang. And I remember one of my fondest memories of my neighborhood was that in summer, young people would come out onto the street, like a young man would come out with a conga drum, and he'd start to play, and then somebody would come with a bongo drum, and somebody would come with an acoustic guitar, and then we'd start singing, and we'd spend like 4 or 5 hours just singing and having so much fun, and I really thought that happened everywhere in the world. And I was so disappointed for other people when I found out that they didn't have that, because we had so much fun with it, and it really brought the neighborhood together, and everybody knew everybody. People parents knew each other's children. They scolded and corrected one another's children, and it was wonderful.
It'd be great if we could have that everywhere, wouldn't it?
It would
Especially
be.
today.
Absolutely.
Gloria Gaynor, we're out of time. I was wondering, would you sing us out, please?
Sure. Oh, no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give, and I'll survive. I will survive. I will survive.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure.